There's a high chance that a Bitcoin avalanche is on its way. Many experts have given their take on this matter. Michael Saylor asserts that Bitcoin is the most reliable store of value. He said that companies, in order to attract talent, offers payments and competition with cryptocurrencies. The whole idea is Bitcoin is a saving account. It's a bank in cyberspace offering a simple secure savings account, and that savings account has been yielding 200 tax-free interest for a decade, and this year it's doing even more. So it's a good way to save money. The board was excited about it. If we have 200,000 in cash and we convert it to Bitcoin, if it goes up 20, 30, 40% a year, if it went up one tenth of what it's been going up, it's still a million times better than many alternative of sitting in a bank savings account. Michael says that our employees are very enthusiastic about it. The next step for us is to roll out Bitcoin on ramps and Bitcoin savings options for all of our employees. You are going to see an explosion of that, the big everyone offering 401k savings plan and employee savings account. It's like the employee stock program for the decade. He adds that if we wanted to diversify, we can put money into the company stock, but it's better to put money into a thermodynamically sound money that's going to be appreciating. It's just a good retirement idea, so it's a very big opportunity, as per Michael. You are going to see an explosion in those finance products from insurance companies and fund companies in the like over the next 12 months. If you would ask any company in February of 2020 that do you have a Bitcoin strategy, they would be like, what's it? What's Bitcoin? Why do we need it? What's the problem with our traditional treasury strategy? But if you look at what happened following that, all the treasury strategies just were broken. If you are buying low yielding bonds, you are getting 0% interest. The money supply is expanding. It expanded 30%. So your purchasing power is falling by 30%. So that breaks people out of their traditional patterns. So the idea behind Bitcoin, and if you reason from first principles, and Elon Musk does reason for first principle. He created PayPal. He created a company that nobody thought he could create, and he created a car nobody thought you could create. Then you look and you say, well, look, we got 20-30 billion dollars and it's losing 15 to 20% of its purchasing power per year. MicroStrategy went through the process of considering everything, and they finally decided Bitcoin was the strongest treasury asset that they could find. Michael Saylor comments that if you have $100 billion worth of cash or 10 billion worth of cash, it's yielding zero, losing 20% of its value a year. It's a liability. Flip it to an asset. The way you flip it to an asset is you convert it into something which is going up 200% a year, and Bitcoin is going up by 200% a year for a decade, but it went up 800% just the last year. If you understand Bitcoin, you think, well, it's $1 trillion asset, probably going to 100 trillion. So if we get in now and we convert our cash, which is depreciating, into something that's appreciating, you create a very positive cycle for your shareholders. If Tesla or Apple stepped up and bought 10 billion worth of Bitcoin, they would triple it, double or triple it. People noted Tesla made more money in just 6 weeks following that decision than they made in the history of making cars. It's better than energy credits, but the real idea is if you are the first country to buy Bitcoin, if you are the first city, what if New York City borrows $1 billion at 3% interest and buys $1 billion worth of Bitcoin? It doubles. They have got 2 billion. Then they go back and borrow another billion. It doubles. They have got 4 billion. Then they eliminate taxes. Then what does every other city do? They all have to follow, and what you are doing is you are creating a dynamic. The more aggressive you do this, the more aggressively other people have to follow you. Then your assets are trading up. Then you are generating an investment income. And you are lifting with the balance sheet as opposed to the PI. If you look at the K-shaped recovery as Wall Street companies, they see their balance sheets expand by 25 to 40% just by doing nothing. Main Street companies have to work 25% to 40% harder to get nothing. And if your business strategy is asset poor and manufacturing rich, you are fighting against the wind. And if your business strategies is hold $1 billion of assets and the money supply expands, you are sailing with the wind, according to Michael. The right way to think about this is that money has two components. There's a currency component, which is a medium exchange and a payment network. And then there's an asset component, which is a long-term store of value. People use the dollar as a medium of exchange, and they use debt and ETFs and index funds to store up value. Some people use gold. If you look out, you are going to see the final culmination of the mobile wave is 8 billion people on the planet with a mobile wallet, and one layer is US dollar or euros in your checking account or your payment network. It moves at the speed of light on compliant payment rails. And then the second layer is your savings account, and that's like a high quality asset. So what are the high quality currencies? US dollar, euro, yen, yuan. What are the high quality assets? Bitcoin, and then fill in your bank and ETF. Your Amazon, Apple. Who are the losers? Low quality assets. Probably gold is a loser. Some of the crappy stocks or a loser bonds that have negative yielding. Savings accounts that give you negative interest, those are losing asset currencies. Venezuelan currency, Nigerian currency, Argentine currency, Lebanese currency. The weak currencies being squeezed out, weak assets getting squeezed out, the world will stampede towards strong assets, strong currency. The US dollar is a winner, it's not a loser. This spreads American supremacy to 5. You should expect 5 billion mobile wallets with the US dollar on it. And now, how do you get the mobile wallets to synchronize in cyberspace? You need the Bitcoin blockchain because that's the settlement network that lets a mobile app in Africa settle with a mobile app in the US and a mobile app in China once a day on the blockchain, and then you got 18 million application or 18 million transactions an hour running on the second layer with the currency. Bitcoin is the most secure database, secure network in the world from the views of Michael. And in the first 1, 2, 3, 4 years, you couldn't be sure. But after 12 years, it has not been hacked. The cybersecurity risk is at the layer 2 level with the Bitcoin banks. Y-Square is a Bitcoin bank. Coinbase is a Bitcoin bank. Mt. Gox was a Bitcoin bank. So there will be 100,000 of these mobile apps and websites sitting on top of the underlying Bitcoin. They all have their own attack surfaces, and they range from simple password on a web browser down to like triple factor authentication hardware wallets, and you will see all of those things. If you are a user of Bitcoin, you have to just very carefully decide what kind of Bitcoin bank do you want to deal with. And you could buy Grayscale Trust GBTC, and you own some Bitcoin exposure and you don't really have the hacking concern, or you can go to the opposite extreme and you can memorize a 24 phrase seed key in your head, and you might try it phrase twice the view and then you emerge. You might find that people will fall in love with the idea that like Apple gives you multi-signature with the iPhone, the Apple Watch, the biometric secure element and the cloud, and they might get comfortable with something like that. But it remains to be seen who's going to win the war. What you have got is Fidelity competing with Coinbase, competing with Square, competing with Treasure, competing with Ledger, competing with memorize the stuff in your head and finance. And that's the market, and that's all fair, and it's completely fine. The market will decide, and by the way, it's not even that there's one right answer. Because if you are Mass Mutual and you want to buy $1 billion of Bitcoin, you are not putting it on a treasure or whatever. You don't have the ability. So there are flavors of money, and everybody is going to take a different approach to put their money into this asset space according to Michael Saylor. Now please tell me your views about Michael's thoughts over the Bitcoin scenario in the comment section below. And do like this video, share it into your Bitcoin community, and make sure to subscribe to our channel. Bye bye and take care.